Welcome to our question and answer session for this month of April. You can begin the first question.
Question number 1 from Vini Lai from Penang, Malaysia. How to incorporate Kaya Gata Sati in meditation?
Kaya Kata Sati means mindfulness of the body. You can do this from the time you get up. As soon as you open up your eyes, look at the position of the body. What is position of the body when you wake up? It is lying. So when you have to be aware right away that the body is lying down on the bed. Then when you want to get up, you have to know right away that now the body is changing position from lying down to sitting, from sitting to standing, from standing to walking, from walking going to do whatever the body wants to do. You just keep watching, keep following the body all the time. This is meaning of the word mindfulness of body. There are many different other aspects, but you first need to develop this mindfulness of body first. Then after that you can go to the next level once you can use the body as the starting point of your mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness, then you can, if you're on the level of vipassana, then you can then contemplate on the nature of the body. The body is subjected to aging, sickness and death. You can contemplate on the no self nature of the body. The body has no self. The body is just the composition of the four elements. It combines and becomes a 32 parts. And when the body dies, then this 32 part will then dissolve into the four elements. This is on the vipassana level. Before you get to that level, you want to just use the body as the anchor to your mind. So to prevent your mind from wandering, thinking about this and that, force the mind to think about, to watch the body, to observe the body. This will develop mindfulness. Then you can use mindfulness to sit in samadhi, to get into jhana. Once you have jhana and are well proficient in entering into jhana and can maintain calm all the time, whether you are in jhana or out of jhana. Once you can maintain calm all the time, then you can then start vipassana on the body. Study the nature of the body until you truly see that the body is anicca, is impermanent, is subjected to aging, sickness and death. And you can let go of your attachment. If you can let go of your attachment, then you will not be hurt when the body get old, get sick or die. Because the body is just four elements. You are the mind who just use the body as the instrument to get what you want. But you also know that you can only use the body for so long. Once the body wants to get old, get sick and die, there's nothing you can stop it from being that. If you want it not to get old, get sick or die, then you will become sad. If you don't want to be sad, then you just have to let the body be. And this is the contemplation on the body. There's two levels. The first level is mindfulness for the purpose of samadhi or jhana. Once you have samadhi or jhana, then you can use it to study the nature of the body for vipassana, for insight into the true nature of the body. And then you can let go of the body.
Question number 2 from Alexander Wolf. How does one practice Citta-nupassana?
Citta-nupassana has to come after you have this is the vipassana level, and it's the level that comes after Vedana and Kaya or body. So it's still very far for you to go there. Right now you don't even have mindfulness or samadhi. So it's useless for you to know how to deal with Citta-nupassana. So it's better to deal with your mindfulness first, so that you can get jhana. Once you can get jhana, then you deal with the body first. Once you can overcome the problem of the body, then you deal with the feeling. Once you have overcome your problem with feeling, then you go into the mind, the problem with the mind. Citta-nupassana is the solving problem of the mind. So it takes a lot. It's quite away from where you are now. Right now you're just learning the alphabet. So don't worry about writing composition. It's too far away for you. Try to study the alphabet first. Try to learn how to spell before you can go write composition.
So her next question, which is related, I focus on being aware of the mind movement, such as the reaction to craving and the aversion to certain thoughts, feelings, and images. Is this the appropriate way to practice Citta-nupassana?
As long as you can control your mind, then it's good. If you cannot control your mind, then it's useless. It's there to control your mind. If you can control your anger, control your hatred, control your greed, control your cravings, then it's okay. That's the purpose of studying the mind, to keep the mind calm all the time.
Her next question, I practice by focusing on sensation of the breath at the tip of my nostril. Once I reach a state of calm, I contemplate on the 3 characteristics. Is this the appropriate way to practice?
No. Once you get calm, you just try to maintain calm for as long as possible. You don't want to start vipassana, because then you will destroy the calm that you try to develop in the first place. First you need to develop calm to the point where your mind is calm all day long, not just when you're in samadhi. It should be calm when you come out of samadhi. When it is not calm, then you should go back into samadhi. Do this until you can manage the mind to be calm all the time. Then once you can do this, then you can go out to the vipassana level.
Next question. Can I solely use wisdom for my practice?
You can, but it's probably useless. Because if you can, you would probably be enlightened by now. You won't have to come and ask me.
Next question. What is avijja?
Avijja is opposite of vicca. Vicca is knowledge. Avijja is no knowledge. No knowledge of enlightenment. So you have to study from the Buddha to get vicca. Once you have vicca, then you can get rid of avijja, ignorant.
Do we destroy avijja when we are in samadhi or when we are out of samadhi?
No, avijja is not destroyed by samadhi. It's only suppressed, prevented from working. Avijja can only be destroyed by vicca, by the knowledge that the Buddha taught us to develop, namely anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right now we don't see anicca dukkha anatta. We see things as niccang sukhang atta. We see things as permanent. We see things as happy. We see things as mine. So this is not the truth. The truth is everything is impermanent. It will hurt you, not make you happy, and it doesn't belong to you.
Next question. What does Ajahn mean by seeing the Four Noble Truths? Because intellectually, I can see how I suffer when I separate from the loved one, or when I have to be around people I dislike. I see my suffering, I see my desire cause me to suffer. I know and try to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, but I'm not enlightened. So can Ajahn please explain more? What does seeing the Four Noble Truths mean in order to be enlightened?
You see the suffering, you see the cause of suffering, but you don't see the cessation of suffering, because you lack the tool to create the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is what you need to do. You have to develop the Noble Eightfold Path, mainly Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. So you have to keep the precepts. You have to be able to enter into jhana all the time, maintain calm all the time. Then you can use vipassana or panya, namely seeing that everything is anicca dukkha anatta. Then you will not be. Then you can get rid of the suffering that arises in your mind when you see something that hurts you. You will not be hurt if you have the sila, samadhi, and panya in your mind.
Question number 8 from Johannes Anwar. When I have a view that I am the mind and the body is just a servant, isn't that mean that I have a view of atta, which is the wrong view?
No, the mind is just a knower. It is not a self. It is the one that knows the body, but it is not the body. But right now the mind is deluded to think that it is the body. So whatever happens to the body, the mind becomes affected. If the mind don't want to be affected by whatever happens to the body, the mind has to realize that it is not the body. It's like you realizing that you're not me. So you're not affected by whatever happens to me. But you are affected by your body because you don't realize that your body is not you. You are the knower, but you have delusion that fool you to think that the body is you. So whenever anything happens to your body, you become affected by that. But if you know that you are not the body, then you won't be affected by whatever happens to the body. Like you are not affected by whatever happens to me. Because you know I'm not you and you're not me. So this is the way you should look at your body. The body is not you and you are not the body. You are two separate entities. Don't combine them to become one. Your delusion combine you, the mind and the body to become one. So whatever happens to the body affects the mind right away. Okay.
His next question, what is craving for non-being and how not to have this craving?
Well, craving for non-being can be many levels. The common level that we on our level is not to have things we don't want to have. We don't want to lose things. We don't want to lose the body. So you want to have the body. That's being. You don't want to lose the body. That's not non-being. See? So this is, you don't want to get old, get sick, or die. This is what we call non-being, opposite of being. With being, you want to be that, you want to be this. Once you become this and that, you don't want to lose it. Once you become a president, you don't want to lose it. Once you become a prime minister, you don't want to lose it. Once you become a wife, you don't want to lose it. Yeah. You don't want to lose the status that you have. It means don't want non-being. You want to become wife all the time. You want to become president all the time. You want to be alive all the time. You don't want to die. Yeah. So these are all non-being on the common level. On the higher level is you don't want to have anything. You want to enter into arupa jhana. Arupa jhana is not having anything. This craving for non-being also. Craving for being is rupa jhana. This is on the higher level. So there are many levels of cravings. But for us ordinary people, it usually means things that we have. Once we have, we don't want to lose them.
And how not to have this craving of non-being?
Just let it be. If it's gonna leave you, let it leave you. If it's gonna die, let it die. Live without the body. You're not the body, so you can live without the body.
Question number 10 from no name. What is the most effective way to end anxiety pertaining to things such as school, grades, and achievement?
Just get out of it. Don't go to school. Don't have anything to do with school. Live like a beggar, become a monk. Then you won't have any anxiety.
Next question from Malaysia, from Teo WT. It is difficult for me to be mindful about the breathing in and breathing out at one point during meditation. In order to obtain samadhi, is it a must to keep my mind being mindful at one point?
Yes, because if your mind keep moving, then your mind cannot be still. So your mind have to be fixed on one point. You can fix it at the tip of your nose, or you can fix it at your stomach or your abdomen. That's where you can watch the breath coming in and out. At the abdomen, when the breath goes in, the air goes in, then the abdomen will expand, and when the air comes out, the abdomen will collapse. So you can watch the expanding and collapsing of the abdomen as your point of focus, if you don't like to watch at the tip of your nose.
His next question: during meditation, when my breath becomes subtle and when the breath disappears, is this stage considered as samadhi?
It is approaching, not yet. When you reach samadhi, it's totally like a flip over. Your mind will be completely different from while you were still watching the breath. Yeah. So you just have to keep on watching, continue on watching the breath, even if there's no breath to watch. Just watch the empty breath, the empty of breath. And then if you don't stop watching, eventually the mind will enter into samadhi. Then you will know the difference. It's like being above the water and being under the water. It will be totally different experience. Your mind will know when you get to that point.
His next question number 13. Is it important to go into samadhi every time when I meditate?
Well, you need samadhi to make you happy. The only drawback of samadhi is it is not permanent happiness. You have to keep on enter into samadhi to make you happy. Or when you're not in samadhi, you have to maintain mindfulness to prevent your mind from creating restlessness and agitation. So this is the first level of happiness, mental happiness. But if you want permanent happiness, you have to move up to the next level. Once you have passed this first level, by starting to study the nature of things that you come involved with, that they are all impermanent, they can hurt you if you cling to them, if you have any cravings for them. So what you want to do is to stop your cravings for everything. Then you will not be hurt, and then your mind will always be happy without having to go into samadhi.
Question number 14. What is the reason that I cannot go into samadhi, although I feel that my mind is so calm?
Because your mindfulness is not strong enough. Your cravings, your desires still keep pushing your mind to be active. So you need stronger mindfulness. You have to focus on your breath and keep focusing it. Don't let your mind go somewhere else. If you can force your mind to be mindful and not go somewhere else, eventually your mind will become completely still and calm and happy.
Question number 15 from Chile, from Diego Prieto. A few months ago, I went for a 20-day Vipassana retreat. From the 4th days of the retreat, I started to have panic attacks for no apparent reason. So I decided to stop meditating for a few months. Now I'm going to start my Anapanasati meditation and I'm able to calm my mind. Why do I have that panic attack? And should I go back to Vipassana retreats?
You lost your mindfulness. You didn't maintain your mindfulness. So you let your mind become free to do whatever it wants to. So it starts to panic. If you could bring back mindfulness, then you can prevent this panic to happen. Or if it happened, you can stop it. If you can re-establish mindfulness in your mind. Because mindfulness is the controller of your mind. It's like the rein you use on a horse. If you have no rein, then the horse can just go whichever way it wants to. But if you have a rein attached to it, then you can control the horse. Mindfulness is like the rein on the mind. You need to have the rein to prevent the mind from going berserk, going crazy.
So should I go back to Vipassana retreats?
You should go. You should if you could, because this is the best path for your true happiness. It's just a matter whether you could or not, and it depends on your ability to develop mindfulness and maintain mindfulness. If you can develop and maintain mindfulness, then you can proceed on this path without any problem. But if you could not, then you would probably run into the same problem again, like last time.
Question number 16 from Malaysia, from Doreen Yap. What happened to the consciousness of an Arahant after he passed away? Is his consciousness extinguished?
No, still the same as he was alive. Yeah. The consciousness or the mind is never destroyed. It's only come into connect with the body. When the body dies, it just disconnects itself from the body, and it still remains the same as it was before the body dies. The difference is that there's no body to connect to. Like trains, like the locomotive, when it disconnects from the other train, it's still the same train, same locomotive.
Question number 17. I listen to your Dhamma talk to practice mindfulness from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, but I found myself becoming tense. How to practice mindfulness in a more relaxed way? Is my tension due to too much concentration?
Probably you are overstressing yourself. So try to be more flexible, but still have to maintain mindfulness. But if you feel tense, you might change the method of developing mindfulness. Maybe you can switch to a mantra. If you're using a mantra, you might switch to watching your body. Something like that can help. or you feel like too stressed, then maybe you should stop for a while and leave the mind alone. As long as the mind is not causing any problem, then you don't have to force it to be mindful. Just be normal. But as soon as your mind starts to create problems, then you have to then restart your mindfulness.
Her next question number 18. During meditation for absorption, when we are unaware of the five khandhas, does it mean that we are not able to hear or smell? Or does it mean we recognize the sound or odors, but we are not bothered by them?
What was the first the question, the start of the question?
During meditation for absorption, when we are not aware of five khandhas, does it mean that we are not able to hear, or does it mean that we recognize the sound but we are not bothered by it?
You have to do it to find out for yourself. So talking about it wouldn't make you see it or understand it. You can only understand by practicing it. When you enter absorption, you will know.
Her next question number 19. In daily life, sometimes I found a conflict between what my mind needs and what my body desires. What should I do?
Well, you should provide the body with the basic necessity of life. But ignore the mind, because the mind sometimes can be unreasonable, and it can have desire that the body doesn't really need, like eating too much, for instance. This is the result of the mind wanting to enjoy food, which hurts the body. So you have to cut down on your food intake. Just eat enough to prevent the hunger to arise. You don't have to eat until you feel very full, because it will cause problem with your body later on. So just give the body what it needs, like you fill the tank of your automobile. You don't fill it until it overflows, right? When the tank becomes full, you stop filling it. Same way when you eat, when you start to feeling full, you should stop. Don't continue on eating because you enjoy the food, or because there's still food left on the table and you feel you might waste it. Then this is the way of hurting your body.
Next question number 20 from Naomi Jonas. You mentioned that 99% of people who are enlightened are monks. Since women are no longer able to fully ordain, does it mean that it's impossible for women to be enlightened in this lifetime?
No, you can still become enlightened if you can practice like a monk. If you can still develop the morality, you can still develop samadhi and wisdom, then you can become enlightened regardless of whether you are a monk or not a monk. But the probability or the feasibility is probably harder for someone who is not living as a monk, because there will be a lot of hindrances and obstruction as compared to those of the monks.
Next question from Eunice Chia. Question number 21. What is your view about bhikkhuni ordination?
Well, bhikkhuni ordination falls under the command of the Buddha. See, the Buddha said you could only ordain bhikkhuni when there is a bhikkhuni sangha, and after ordain with the bhikkhuni sangha, you need to ordain with the bhikkhu sangha. So you need two sangha to be able to ordain a bhikkhuni. As far as Theravada tradition is concerned, that bhikkhuni tradition has ended long time ago, and he does not provide any provision to restart a new bhikkhuni. So that's why we could not ordain any bhikkhuni now. If we want to follow the order or the command of the Buddha, which we respect and believe that it is probably the best. Whatever the Buddha say is usually for the best of Buddhism. But this doesn't stop you from being a bhikkhuni by yourself. You don't need to be ordained as a bhikkhuni, because all bhikkhuni needs is to keep the bhikkhuni precepts. So you just study the bhikkhuni precept, which is still available in the Tripitaka, and then just follow those, keep those precepts. Then you are bhikkhuni on your own. You don't need people to recognize you as a bhikkhuni. You don't. Your purpose of becoming a bhikkhuni is not for people to accept you or to realize that you are a bhikkhuni. You are bhikkhuni because you want to become enlightened. So why you don't need a bhikkhuni sangha to ordain you. If there's no bhikkhuni sangha to do that, you can ordain yourself. The Buddha ordained himself. He didn't have a bhikkhu to ordain him to become a monk, to become a bhikkhu. So you can become a bhikkhuni if you know what the requirements of a bhikkhuni is. Then you just fulfill that requirement. Then you become bhikkhuni in yourself. You know in yourself, in your heart, that I'm a bhikkhuni. But if other people don't think you are, so what? It doesn't matter. Because when you're enlightened or not enlightened, it doesn't depend on what other people think of you. It depends on whether you could do it or not. So just do it. You want to be bhikkhuni, study the 300 something precepts of the bhikkhuni and maintain it. And then go to develop samadhi and wisdom. Then you can become enlightened.
Next question from Eunice Chia. Question number 22. What is the purpose of Vinaya?
The Vinaya is to stop the movement or the actions of body and speech from going into the wrong direction, which can then detour the path to enlightenment. So you want to keep your mind on the path to enlightenment by not be distracted by the wrong kind of action and speech. So if you do anything wrong against the precept, it means you are going off the path to enlightenment. That's the purpose of the precepts, to keep you on the path.
Question number 23 from Amar from Australia. Do we have to make any life plans for the future or just be in the present moment?
Well, if you don't know what to do, then what will you do? You have to make plans to know what you have to do. You have to know where you want to go before you could go there. If you don't have any plan to go anywhere, then you're not going anywhere. So it's up to you. If you're happy where you are, then you don't need to make any plans. If you're not happy, then you have to change your position. Then you have to make plan on how to change your position. If you're not happy with your present status, then you have to make plan to change your status. But if you're happy with your status, then you don't have to make any plan to change it.
Question number 24 from Sami Riachi. I feel a lot of dispassion towards the world and feel that I could renounce everything. However, I feel a kind of afraid of the concept of Nibbana, where in the Theravada tradition explained it is a state of non-existence of the khandhas, a state of no physical body and mind. Is Nibbana a state of non-being? Why I am so scared of it?
Because you got the wrong information. Because Nibbana is not the state without the mind. The mind is still there, but what isn't there is just the body. But just the rupa khandha, the four nama khandha still exist still in the mind and remain with the mind. The difference between a mind that is enlightened, that has entered nibbana, and the mind that hasn't is the absence of cravings. With the mind that enter into nibbana has no cravings, no desire, no desire take birth to quench its thirst for things. That's all the difference. But it's still the same mind. The mind that has the four nama khanda, it can still think and it can still feel, but it has no cravings or desire for anything. That's all.
Question number 25 from Jayaka from Indonesia. People said that Reiki is a universal energy which use the attunement to open our 7 chakras. Is it wrong if I learn Reiki for the purpose of making my body healthy?
Well, it's up to you what you want to do with yourself. I don't know whether it's wrong or not because I don't know what it does. So I cannot give you this answer properly.
Her next question: as long as I always hold the right view, is it okay for me to learn Reiki?
Well, if you have the right view, you probably don't want to learn the Reiki, because the right view will tell you, regardless of what you do, you're gonna die anyway.
Question number 27 from Caroline Yo from Singapore. My mother is in her 80s and has been sick for many years. I hope that she can live long until in her 90s or 100s. I've done a lot of charity like giving dana to build temple in various countries on her behalf. In the past, my grandparents were raising pigs as their livelihood and my mom had no choice but to help the business. I observed that my mom's way of living is the same like a pig behavior. She just wants to eat, sleep and goes to toilet. She does not want to listen to Dhamma talk because she thinks that listening to Dhamma talk is a way of sending her off sooner. Did my mom's unpleasant livelihood in the past cause her to suffer? And how can I help her to reduce her bad karma?
She has to change herself. No one else can change her. So you can only help if she needs help. If she doesn't accept your help, then there's nothing you can do. If you can change her to enjoy, listen to Dhamma talk, to enjoy practicing Dhamma, then there's nothing you can do for her. Because only when you listen to Dhamma talk and then apply the Dhamma talk in your life, that's when you will change. That way you change your karma, your direction of your karma. You cannot change your past karma, but you can change your present karma. If you're going one direction and you know it's not the right direction, you can change it.
Question number 28 from Sumana Lim from Malaysia. When I was in college, someone stalked me and sent disturbing sexual harassment messages. It happened about 10 years ago, but I am now still have fear caused by that incident, especially when I receive a random request from someone who wants to befriend me on Facebook. I would think that this person could be him. How do I deal with this fear?
Well, just try to be careful and try not to get close to whoever you think can hurt you, and just then do what you can and then be prepared to face the worst if there's nothing else you could do, because this is life. Sometimes you just have to run into things that you don't like. If you don't want to, don't reborn. Try to meditate and try to stop your cravings. Then you won't have to reborn. Then you won't have to come and face this situation in your future.
Question number 29 from Xian Yi from Malaysia. In Anapanasati Sutta, there are a total of 16 steps to follow. However, Ajahn mentioned that we just be aware of the in and out breath. Is being aware of in and out breath automatically complete all the 16 steps in the sutta?
Yes, just focus on the breath in and out, and then it will lead to you through all these steps without having to know. Like when you drive your car, you don't have to know how the engine works, how the propeller turns, how All you have to do is just keep driving the car. That's all.
Should we also need to be clear about the breath, whether it's long or short, heavy or light, etc.?
Well, you should know, because if it's short, you know it's short. If it's long, you know it's long. Just know, that's all. Don't have to manage the breath. Don't have to force it to be long or force it to be short. Just use the breath as the anchor of your mind, to prevent your mind from drifting away to the past or to the future. You want to keep the mind in the present and not thinking, that's all. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all for today, Long Po.
Okay, thank you for all of your questions. And if they are not clear enough for you, please send in more questions and we'll meet again the next time. In the meantime, may you advance in your practice and sooner or later be completely enlightened. Goodbye.